Ladies and gentlemen, man, I don't know how I keep doing it, but I got another banger for y'all, and it's Tony the Broker Serrano coming to you live at EMC in between the T's.
Right.
My guy, thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate you driving in. And shit, man, this has been a long time coming. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, it's been a minute.
Long time. We've been trying to find ways to connect, and I think, you know, right around the holidays, I started pitching you some deals, you know, give you some off-market listings.
Yes.
You know, talk to your investors. Bing bong. It hasn't hit there yet, but I feel we're right there, right?
Yeah, it's sizzling. I mean, we're just, you know, in the kitchen, you know, shaking and baking, ready for this to manifest and happen. So let's get it. Let's go. 2024. What's in store?
Hey, that's a new one.
That's right.
That's a new one, man. Everybody's talking about 2024 being Mamba, all this other stuff.
Yes.
And that's a new one. Man, we're going to drop bars today, man.
Let's do it.
Listen, Tony, man, you have so much to share with the people, and you guys really need to pay attention here. This man is deep. This guy is passionate about the community and being able to help out not just people in looking to buy real estate, but more importantly, as a human being, compassion. So I want to open it up to you, man. Like, let's get an intro for anybody that doesn't know, needs to know. Let them know.
Yes, no, I appreciate it. You know, Tony Serrano, I've been in the business, you know, for a minute, started right before the crash back in 07, 08. And, you know, since then, just, you know, I've been on a mission to be able to, you know, assist and to be able to bring value to the community, to both buyers and sellers. At the end of the day, as we understand, this is a business and sales is sales. However, my value prop is bringing value to each and every person that I'm able to engage with, regardless of real estate. When it comes to, you know, spirituality or physical fitness, whatever it is, it's about, you know, bringing value. And when you bring value, people respect value, and then in return, the money will come. So I think a lot of times it's misconstrued that people get too caught up in the pursuit of chasing the money, and in that they lose focus of the big picture. But I believe it's all about, if you do the right thing and bring value, the money will come. Absolutely.
I am a strong advocate in providing not just white glove service, but of value. So, you know, let's level, man. I was chasing you for a long time to earn your business. I called you, I think last year, 2022, Tony, I got these programs. Tony, you're like, out of respect, hey, Tony, like, that's great. Let me see what I can do. But I just didn't. There was no connection there, right?
Yes.
And it was me being told by, you know, you've been in the business a long time. What do they tell us? You got to work with realtors, and realtors got to work with lenders, right?
That's right.
But there's no game plan. They just say go chase in so many ways. Go do that.
Go hunting.
Yeah, but there's really no strategy, and I was doing my best. I'm a hunter, man. I kill and eat what I do with my people.
That's what we do. Eat or be eaten. That's right. The lions got to, you know, can't be sleeping like the sheep. You got to be a lion and eat.
Well said.
While the sheep is sleeping, the lions will eat.
That's my guy's dropping bars, bro. You used to freestyle back in the day or what?
You know, did a little bit of, you know, music, you know, produced some music. As you guys know, I was on a podcast a few weeks ago with a good friend of mine, Corey, and, you know, we do have, you know, that musical background. So for me, it's all about incorporating creativity, which is where I see you have it too. It's just whatever you're passionate about, and music, you know, 90s hip hop. You know, for me, you know, that's just what I was raised on. So I just kind of use that influence, and, you know, whatever I'm feeling, it just comes out, man. So 2024, what's in store? We keep knocking on the door.
Hey, we're going to knock on all the doors, and if it's locked, we're going to pound that thing down.
Boom. Let's knock that door down, baby. Let's go. That's right.
Yeah, man, I was chasing you, brother, and it wasn't until this recent 6 months or so where I just said, hey, listen, what can I just give for free? Because that's going to change people's mindset, right?
Yes.
What can I give to my clients? Hey, I'm going to give you estimates on houses you're shopping. I'm going to give you everything I can, and just not hope, but by that effort, it'll show where our value is.
That's right.
And then you work a lot.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I work a lot.
Yes.
And I think people want that. Hey, listen, it's Sunday, 5 p.m. They want someone to talk to. We can be in escrow and it could be an issue, right?
Yes.
Right? And we're there to solve it. It's the people that don't, they just live in this box that just kind of losing out on business. And this is where we.
Yeah, I mean, well, the bottom line is that we're basically problem solvers, right?
Yeah.
So when we're hired by a seller or by a buyer, it's because they want us to solve their problem, whether it's selling my property, whether it's a divorce sale, whether it's a buyer that is lost and has no idea what's the roadmap to purchase.
Yep.
We're here to problem solve, especially when it's their first time or their first rodeo. They have no clue. They're clueless. So we are here to not just solve problems, but to bring them that peace and that assurance that they are working with true professionals that will go to battle with them, that they are not alone. And you get, because every transaction, it's a roller coaster, right? And it's a high emotion type of business. You can go for, oh my God, I got my offer accepted.
Yeah.
Then, wow, I didn't expect I was going to get hit with all these requests for repairs. And then, appraisal issues. So there's so much that comes entail in a transaction, and your client is looking at you to hold them down.
Yeah.
So once...
Are you a soldier or are you just going to crumble?
Thank you. Are you going to stand and fight to the occasion, or are you going to fold like a table, right? Hey. So you got to stand up to the occasion, and like everything, right? Honesty is the best policy. So if there is a legitimate question that I do not know, it's letting the client know, well, you know what? Give me a minute. I may not know the answer to this, but I will research it and get back to you.
Yeah.
And communication, which jumps into communication, whether it's not everything is going to be good news, right? Every transaction is going to have its hiccups, but once you're able to deliver and let the client know, hey, we have some bad news, this came up on this report, but guess what, we'll address it. And my motto is one step at a time.
Yes.
That's what I tell clients. Let's just take this one step at a time. We're in escrow and we'll deal with this situation as it comes up. So that's what we get paid for, is to problem solve and bring that assurance and that security that if we open escrow, I will do everything in my power to close escrow.
Yeah. I want to touch upon two things that you brought on. You've been doing this a long time. You have a lot of clients. They love and respect you. You've probably been able to gather them to be close friends.
Yes.
Is there a common theme that they always tell you at the end, or just, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yes. And that's a great question. And I say a commonality would be, Tony, thank you for being there for me. Thank you for holding it down when I was getting frustrated or when I didn't know what to do. You are able to use your resources and your team to help problem solve. Mm-hmm. So I would say a common factor would be bringing that peace of mind and just letting them know that, yes, we will get through it. So it's just been the common factor. Well, you know what? It was more stressful than I thought, but you made it as smooth as possible. And once again, that's all praise and glory to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me.
Absolutely.
And for me, what's important is spirituality. And I think it's so easy to get away from that because we are living in a society that's based off of the glitz, the glamour, the toys, the this and the that. But we forget that we can't accomplish anything without having God.
Yes.
So for me, having the principle of putting God first, and then he'll open up the doors or he'll close doors that need to be closed. Yeah. But the key is to ask him for wisdom. And then from there, he's the one that brings the clients the opportunities, the timing of me and you connecting in this season, right? It's all orchestrated. Yeah. We just have to follow in path and pivot and adjust because, we have our schedules. But even in a day, so much can change in a day. You can get one phone call that disrupts your whole day because you're trying to problem solve. But everything, there's a reason for everything. And the key is to always be grounded and remain focused. And when you have a good team and, appreciate you being on my team, we just hold each other down. Accountability, in the morning, hey, that positive energy, right? We got this. Let's go.
You're trying to win?
Yes.
Tap in.
That's right. That's right. So you've got to be plugged in. And once again, you're a sum of the 5 people that you engage with. So your inner circle is so important. So that way, when you are going through a situation, I could say, hey, you know what, Tony, I got this situation. Hey, man, what do you think? And vice versa. It's all about the mastermind. Iron sharpens iron. So it's very important to have a structured inner circle. So that way, when you do deal with situations in a transaction, you're focused and you're ready to make it happen.
I love that, man. You've covered so much, and it follows a similar conversation last night I had with one of my partners too. He was basically saying something like I was telling you. I was chasing you, bro. I was chasing him. And he's a good friend of mine. I've been with him for over 10 years, like as friends, and now he's in the business. And I just told him, hey, listen, like it wasn't the timing, it wasn't the seasoning, and look at now the pieces are coming together.
Yes.
So I want to go back real quick. So you mentioned the common thing. Now, what I'd like to really know is in those problem times, in regards to you have a tough escrow. What are some of your tactics? How do you keep your clients so calm? How do you have them trust in you? Because sometimes it's different. Sometimes you got to be stern with them. Sometimes you got to be this. Like, what's your focus? How do you deliver that?
And to answer that in a sense, we are kind of like psychologists, right?
Put my hat on real quick.
Yes.
My desk. Hold up.
yes, because you have to be able to read, different people and different personality types, right? You have to deal with people that are drivers, people that are analytical, and you have to know how to be able to adjust to each personality. So, what's important to me in answering your question is having a team. For example, I had a situation in a transaction where we needed, a handyman to come in and take care of a situation, needing a plumber to come and deal with a plumbing issue. And
in
escrow. And the client...
Short or was it normal turn time?
We were talking about 30 days or less.
Okay.
And the client was like, Tony, the people that I would use, they're not reliable. Can you help me? And I said, no worries. I got this. So made a phone call.
Value.
Yes. Thank you. And that's the key, is that we get paid on bringing value to people. And a lot of times in some situations, it's not, as I mentioned, not all about the money. For example, I just got a call on the way over here regarding an equity line of credit. A client had called me in regards to a line of credit. And like I told him, to be honest with you, for me, I want to do what's right for you, and your best bet may be to go to a credit union or your banking institution that will be able to, give you a competitive rate with low fees. I would say start with that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not about making money on the table, let's say on this deal per se, but in bringing that value and saying, hey, Tony, thank you. I didn't think about that. If that works out, guess what? He's going to remember that Tony, instead of saying, well, let me see how I can maybe turn this into a refi or what have you, I honestly gave him, here's an option, try it out. If it doesn't work, then yes, I can reach out, to my team and say, hey, well, it didn't work at the credit union. What's the next option? But that's the value, where it's not just looking. And people, as we talked about, people can read you. People can sense if you're authentic. Are you truly here to bring value and to assist? Or are you here just for the moolah, for the commission, for the quick dollar? And people could read through that.
Yeah.
So as a common factor, once again, with clients, it's, what, Tony, you always told me the truth.
Yeah.
You always gave me my options, whether it was good news or bad news. And it's that respect that gives you credibility that, opens up the referral market. So it's, at the end of the day, it's about doing the right thing. Sometimes that may mean not getting or making money on a situation.
Right.
But guess what? The client will always remember that you were there to give them advice, and they will remember that. So a lot of times people will remember not just what you told them, but how you made them feel.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And I think one thing that's overlooked a lot is that when you're in for the dollar, it could be, oh, that's only a $50,000 deal. Oh, that's only $5,000. But there are some people that's their livelihood.
Yes.
That's everything.
Yes.
And if we're able to go ahead and provide them a resource, a channel, an avenue through our network, they, like you said, they're gonna remember. They're gonna go ahead and, damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Right? Like there was that aha moment. And then if that fails, you know what? Come back to you.
Yes.
And then guess what, bro? If something comes out of it, great. But not everything that we do is we get paid for it.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
It's the truth. It's the truth. But
Everything's
remember, to piggyback on that, you reap what you sow, though, right?
Yes.
So if you sow good seeds, guess what? The harvest will come from another client or from a referral that you didn't even know about. But it's one of the laws of the land, right? You reap good, you'll get good.
Yeah.
You reap bad, your harvest will be bad. So my goal or my focus on every day is to live into intentional living, right? So every day that I'm awake, that I'm blessed with the gift of life, it's to be intentional about being the best version of myself today, and being able to make an impact, whether it's one person's life, whether it's encouraging a kid in school, hey, you know what, you could do this, you could keep going, you can make it happen, or a single mom that's going through a tough situation, but you can own your property. It's all about bringing value, because at the end of the day, our life, we're here today and we're gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there is no guarantees in life but the moment that you have now.
That's it.
So it's the now moment.
Everybody, there's a lot, I can't say everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that really take for granted what we have. The moments, the opportunity. And we always hear this a lot. I wish I could buy it. I wish I can do what you can. And lately I just been in this mode of, listen, yes, you can. And you get your ass over here because we're going to do this for you. And we're going to show you.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's been some circumstances where you had to be the same way.
Absolutely.
Kind of pull them along. Listen, because not everybody's going to be ready in their mind.
Yes.
And a lot of times I have to deal with clients that are 5 to 6 months out, maybe even a year to 2 out, and we have to build it up, get them ready. I'm sure you've dealt with a few yourself.
Absolutely.
You got one of those stories you could tell?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, and I call them, incubator. There's deals where they're not ready, whether they're credit challenged or they're going through a situation they're not ready to purchase now. And I did have a situation with the client. We met with them, credit, was not where it needed to be. They had made some bad decisions in regards to being late on payments. Okay. Down payment wasn't there. So, we sat down and put them on a roadmap. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we get your credit reestablished. We're going to make sure, once again, that in order for the bank to say we're going to lend you X amount on this property, they want to see your credit worthiness, right? And all of us have made mistakes, right? And that's a whole nother conversation, like financial literacy in school, right? The first thing when you get out of high school, you get all these credit card offers, charge, and then you're all in this debt. So, but that's a whole nother conversation, is really teaching financial literacy so we can get our people, our kids, the millennials, the next generation prepared to be able to make good decisions, not just rack up credit card debt and be stuck when they want to purchase. Yeah. But I'm going on into another tangent. But long story short, helped this client, got their credit on track, got their down payment in play. It took about, a good 9 months.
Okay.
And we were able to, close escrow and make it happen for them and give him the American dream. And they were so thankful because they were like, Tony, I had talked to, 3-4 agents, and because my credit wasn't ready, they blew me off. You're not ready because they're in it for the quick fix. But you took the time with your lender, and they were very appreciative. And that, to me, is what makes it worth it as far as being in this business, because you can't put $1 on seeing someone enter the door of their new home. Like, exactly.
You damn near want to cry, bro.
Exactly.
And that's exactly from the day I got in this business. That's when, I was in a call center. So I knew immediately when I was just getting in this business, I don't want to be no damn call center. I want to be out there with the people. That's who I am. And once I closed that first purchase, I'm like, this is it.
Yes.
Right there. Being able to see them smile, freaking abuelita crying.
Yes.
The kids being there. And then getting a message during the holidays, and then I start sharing my growing family at the time, and I'm sure you get a lot of those, man. You're good at what you do. No, you're great at what you do. So you must be getting a lot of that love, man. And it's a blessing to see. And I want to talk to you about something you brought up: kids in financial literacy. When I was at Bank of America, I made a very much strong effort to be in high schools and give them a general understanding of setting up a credit checking account, give them some literacy. Is that a passion for you to be in the community? What if we can partner and do something like that? Would you want to do something like that?
You know what? You've heard it. It's official. We are going to do it.
There
I'm
it is.
I'm 100% in because the key is it's about giving back to the community.
Yeah.
You know, God has blessed us so bountifully just with the gift of life. There's so much that we have to be grateful for. So what are we doing? And I ask myself and I ask all of us out there, what are we doing individually to give back? And that's a passion that I have, is giving back to our communities, to schools, to doing the toy drives at Christmas,
Yeah.
you know, to being there, you know, because, you know, one day life is crazy, right? Life is full circle. You know, one day, you know, I remember, right, going through the grind, you know, starting in the business, going through, you know, the whole mortgage meltdown and going through tough times. So when you've been at the bottom and all you could do is look up, you have compassion and empathy for somebody else, because guess
Well
what?
said.
I was there, and because we don't know what life may happen, it can happen again. Right? I mean, we pray it doesn't, but the thing is, life is unpredictable. So I'm 100% in with partnering up with you and creating some kind of program or something to give back to the community, to show them,
Yeah.
you know, that we're here.
Where did you grow up, by the way?
You know what? Good question. Good thing that you asked. You know, I grew up in the Artesia, you know, area. You know, met a lot of good people. You know, came from, you know, a crazy family dynamic in regards to, you know, single mom.
Yeah.
You know, raised me and my sister on my own. So, you know, I grew up, you know, with a lot of, you know, anger and resentment and issues from not having a father figure there.
Yeah.
So I can relate to, you know, single moms and even shout out to single dads. There's good dads out there that
There sure is, y'all.
you know, that are struggling to provide for their families. But you know, long story short, you know, I grew up in the grind. I grew up in the hustle. I know what it is to struggle, so I can understand and see. Like you said, a lot of us don't understand that down payment, that 3.5%. You know, people have been saving so much to get there, and to be able to own enough just to be able to purchase.
Yeah.
So seeing somebody go through that struggle makes you say, okay, I'm here to make it happen. You've struggled to save up your down. We're going to help you out with your closing costs. We're going to make this happen, because everybody is entitled to the American dream,
Right.
to be able to own property and real
That's
estate.
one thing I always try to figure out, not just motivation, but your story, well, my client's story, because it gives me fuel. Really does. It's like, if you know more about a person and where they come from and their story, you're gonna fight tooth and nail for them. Like, I have some VA clients right now. I've been fighting tooth and nail for them to get to this house, just to be met with, hey, the appraisal's not gonna be coming at value. We're at 1.6. The appraisal's gonna be coming at 1.3. The seller is an investor. He ain't gonna do that. But they know that all that I did to get them, trust me, bro. I felt like I was in basketball, pivoting every moment. Okay, we doing this, and then I almost traveled in.
Yes, sir.
I got it. We done. So they've been with it. So that's my point, man. It's all about knowing where your clients are coming from, so we can really piggyback off that fuel to get them where they want to go. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And then once again, it's about, you know, financial literacy. It's about education, right? And once again, value. I can't stress that word enough. It's about the value prop that you're bringing to clients, and that education piece that they don't know about, that they're, you know, don't know, right? When it comes to, well, what's a contingency and inspection periods.
The things that we do every day.
Yes.
And I think this is another reason why I brought In Between the Tees online. Not just to talk about golf, not to shine a light just on the partners, but to really go ahead and get people empowered.
Yes. Yes.
In the conversation. We talk about that a lot, man. You're great at what you do. All my agents that I work with are great, but there's still little gaps that we need to fill. That these people out there need to go ahead and have full understanding of what we do. Not maybe everything, because, you know, we'd be out of job.
Yes. But you know what, too, to piggyback on that, it's not knowledge, it's power.
There it is.
It's applied knowledge is power, because, you know, I could read all the self-help books, the positive, you know, motivations, the speeches, the seminars, but if I'm just hearing it, but I'm not applying that knowledge to my life and to others, then all it is is just
Fugazi.
knowledge. Yeah, all it is just I'm taking and absorbing and I'm listening, but I'm not applying that. So it's applying the knowledge and taking action.
Reciprocity.
Exactly. And then, so the passion is being able to go from a first time buyer to dealing with savvy investors that are looking to pick up properties and flip and what are margins. And, so it's the beauty of real estate is that we help so many different people from different, cultures, different dynamics, different situations. But at the end of the day, it's providing that service. And when you provide that service, that's what people remember, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah.
We're here, bring value, money will come. Bring value, escrows will open. Bring value, and the doors will open.
Yeah, we're working hard.
Oh, yeah.
We may not be building buildings physically in the world, but we're manifesting steps, buildings to create bridges for people and relationships.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think is key. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, we talked about on the phone, man, and it's about your vision. Where's Tony going? What's Tony's vision?
Well, the vision is to create a culture to be able to enhance and bring financial literacy, not just in real estate, but once again, to high schools, right? It is to be able to build, a nonprofit to, really give back.
What would that look like?
With me, I'm passionate about music. So I've always thought about, creating an after school program that talks about financial literacy along with, with the fine arts, whether it's producing music, creative, whatever your creative passion is. A lot of kids are good at, artwork or wanting to create portraits or do spoken word or produce music. So for me, it's tapping into whatever that creative energy that high schooler or that preteen may have, and letting them use that to the best of their ability.
Got it. Wow.
It's just it's giving back. That's giving back.
That's a vision, bro.
Yeah.
And oh.
Yeah. Real quick on that note, as we are in an election year, I want to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine, Jesse Alvarado. He's going to be running for city council in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. He's a very good friend of mine, and supporting him 100% in his vision to give back to the city of Hawaiian Gardens, and it's important. It's important to as we are in an election year to really know the ins and the outs. Because we don't have a crystal ball, right? I mean, they're saying where the prediction is the Feds are going to lower the rates 4 times come second quarter, right? Yeah. That's the prediction. Now, will it happen? We'll see, right? But the key is, regardless of whatever the crystal ball may say or may not say, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So applied knowledge is power.
I think the key tenets of this conversation is positivity, taking action, and value. Would you agree?
Well, absolutely, because life is too short, right? Yeah. We're here today, gone tomorrow. And guess what? Yeah, we all have our character defects. We all have our issues. We all have our good days. We all have our bad days. But the key at the end of the day is what value or what was I able to do today, or how was I a better version of myself today than I was yesterday? It's self-growth, self-improvement, and all we're doing is using the tool. Real estate's just the vehicle. A gift that we've been blessed with on real estate sales, on mortgage lending. It's just the vehicle we use to help people accomplish their goals.
Right.
And if you help others accomplish their goals, guess what? Eventually your goal will be accomplished.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing value.
That's it.
So, blessed to sell real estate, blessed to help others invest and create multiple streams of income. And make it happen with you, Tony. Let's do this. Let's make this a year that we will be a force to be reckoned with in regards
TNT,
to
baby.
Dynamite. Boom.
Let's go. That's it, man.
It's being intentional about our lifestyle, intentional about who we are, and sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think we can mastermind a way within our business that we conduct together to go ahead and create a fund. I
Yes.
did something similar with another one of my realtor partners. She's passionate about fostering pets. She's passionate about really placing these pets and furry animals into livable situations instead of being in shelters. Kill shelters are growing and they're killing these pets. And I said, let's any business we do, let's take a small percentage of it and we donate to this charity or wherever you decide. But let's make that happen. So I want to do the same thing with you, man. I want to be able to find a way we can either create that nonprofit, make the building work, start building that infrastructure because you got connections, I got connections.
Yes.
They just haven't met each other yet.
That's right. We're
You
just
know,
the bridge.
the season, yeah, man. Which brings me to an interesting point. There's a writer by the name of Malcolm Gladwell. You heard of that guy?
His name sounds familiar.
Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book about tipping points and David Goliath studies. And in tipping points, he studies about three people. There's the salesman, there's the maven, and then there is the connector. So the maven is the dude that you go to that knows everything. He's like the encyclopedia guy.
Got it.
You know, everybody's got that guy, right? Who's that guy for you?
Oh,
You
man.
can name him off the bat.
I mean, you're talking about what, Jim Rohn?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you Jim Rome knows everything, right? So then there's the salesman, like the guy that could just fucking pitch ice to an Eskimo. You know, who would that guy be for you?
Yes, man. J.J. Lopez.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the connector. Would you be that connector? The person that bridges everybody together and brings that community? Are you that guy?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I've noticed.
Yes.
So when I read that book,
Yes.
I was like, I'm a good salesman, but I know there's better.
That's right.
And I don't identify as a salesperson. I identify as, oh, you are having a wedding? Well, I know a guy that is really good at photography or this and that. I even know a great baker.
Mm.
Bridge the gap.
Yes.
Connect.
Yes. And that's the key is having resources
Yeah.
in place. So we're the one that's bridging. Just like I was able to bridge for my client, having the handyman, having the plumber,
That's a major one.
right? It's being able to connect on a small scale to a major scale, but it's using the resources that we have, right? Pulling them together to make big things happen. And it's so easy to get caught up in negativity, caught up in this, that, or the other. But I would rather, Tony Serrano, I would rather focus my time with you, Tony, and let's talk about building and edifying.
What do you think the first step would be for us to get that off the floor?
And I think the first step is, as you just, mentioned right now, is just, looking, through our resources, saying we got XYZ, here's who I have, you have XYZ, making a couple phone calls to set up the nonprofit and let's go.
Okay.
So
Well, like
this is where it starts. It
think-
starts
yeah,
with
I
this
think-
conversation.
I think we're on the clock then. Let me grab my calendar and say by March, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna give you guys an update on that. Would that be fair? Would that be too aggressive?
No, I think it's fair.
Is that too slow?
No, I think, I think 60 to 90 days, is very doable.
Yeah, man, because I was surprised when I went to these high schools and I talked to freshmen all the way to seniors. And I surveyed them right off the bat. And at that time they were like, hey, you look like Tony Stark.
Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah. So I ran with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm Tony Stark. So just to mess around. And
Yes.
and I asked them, hey, who has a bank account? Let's say a room of 30 kids, 2 kids had a bank account.
Mm.
And I asked, okay, guys, what do you use your bank account for?
Mm.
They say, well, for savings, this is what I use for. So when I'm doing my chores, I put it in here.
Yes.
I'm like, but what else do you use it for? What do you, and they're like, they don't know. So then I went into it. I'm like, listen, you go to your parents and you have them open up a secured credit card.
Yes.
The savings that you already have vested, then you can start building your credit.
Yes.
Building your credit. And this is, again, was something that I had to learn closer to 28.
Mm.
And I'm teaching it to 15 to 18-year-olds. And another thing that I found out was that I have my daughter, who's 7, attached to my credit cards.
Mm.
So she's already building credit.
Yes.
I can't mess that up.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
More
Accountability.
accountability, man.
Yes.
People are afraid of accountability, but I find that if we can go ahead and find accountability as a foundational thing to build on, we excel.
And see, and that's the issue with society right now is we're in a society where you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me I'm right. You can't tell me I'm wrong. If
Yeah.
it feels good, I want to do it. And no. There are rules and regulations. When you're driving, right? If you see a red light, you got to stop. You can't just say, hey, I don't feel like stopping. I'm just going to go. Like there's checks and balances. And that's tying into what you're saying, accountability, To have success, you've got to have that foundation of accountability, and that's what our kids need. Our kids don't need to, be, and it's sad because you see kids now that are relying on, ChatGPT to do their homework or just stuck to their phones or iPads. It's like, no, use your brain, right? That's how we were raised, right? Before all this, it's no, use your brain, to know.
We were probably the last generation to be held fully accountable.
Yes, and that's
Because our parents were the boomers and they had full accountability, and so it's interesting to see this kind of thing. And my wife kind of gets mad at me because I hold my daughter accountable. Hey, listen, you did this. That's your responsibility.
Yes.
That's your homework. I'm gonna help you, but you gotta tell me. And my wife's like, you know, that's not right. I'm like that's another thing. But man, I think we've covered quite a bit, and I want to ask you, man, who taught you these things? Who do you think was your biggest influence to be who you are today? If that can be defined or pinpointed.
Man, I'd have to say it'd be a combination of my mom, my grandmother that raised me, and the streets. I mean, I learned a lot from the streets, the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the good, the bad, and the ugly. But that's what makes you who you are today.
Yeah.
Is because of how you grew up and what you learned.
Right.
So, to answer your question, it's a combination of, learning life and making mistakes and figuring it out, being a knucklehead at a young age, being a teenager, out of control, to now being able to say, I want to give back. I want to help kids. I want to give structure.
Yeah.
I want to see kids have that bank account and position themselves and know how to save, X amount from their checks and, and be educated, not just with the college foundation, but with the financial foundation.
Correct.
So
with that being said, man, I think today we can take this away and say that value, is a big important thing. But for everybody out there, if anybody has kids, and you're looking for someone to maybe mentor, you got two guys right here willing to help. If you guys are looking to go ahead and take the next step and just don't have the resources, because I know for me and him, growing up in East Los, growing up in Artesia, we didn't have it. We had to find it. And God paved the path to keep us away from certain things.
yes, Yes.
So I'll say this, man. You've got two mentors here, whether you're 45, 55, 65, 18, 8 years old, that are really to go ahead and put in the work and help you get where you want to go and reach your goals. So here, this is the 18th hole, man. I mean, shit, I feel fulfilled. I think I shot 72. We shot par today.
And you know what? And real quick on that note, big shout out to East LA. My grandparents, pastored a church in East LA. I grew up and became a knucklehead because of the streets of East LA.
Yeah.
So I have, East Los. My office is in Montebello. I always love the streets. I always love the hustle.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's going from the neighborhood to Hollywood to the streets to Wall Street. It's about bridging the gap.
Yep.
And if me and you could do it,
Nobody
you could do it.
has an excuse. Everybody can do it. So with that being said, yeah, we shot par today, boys.
Boom.
And girls. Tune in next week. Tony.
Let's go.
Let's go, bro.
Let's get it. Yes, sir. Boom.
Make sure that Tim, add the boom at the end of the